You are kind of a famous GIF, or GIF, however they say it, with this rain delay in Gainesville Regional. So when it rains, I want to know, like, do you I mean, how cool is it now that you have them? Maybe that's not something you want to pass down to your son, but
Right.
you have it. So people probably text it to
I've
you,
been
your
trying to
boys probably
hide that
messaging
from
you
him.
on it.
I forgot where it rained the other day. We were in kind of a bigger game and it started raining. I'm like, here we go. It's
Yeah.
something that's going to hit the internet at some point. But no, just that moment was crazy. I mean, we're trying to get through that rain delay, right? So we can keep playing. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
through. However, I forget how many innings you needed to play in college, but no, we're trying to score runs and get out of there. I'm not trying to sit around for a rain delay.
Jameel Muhammad and Jeff Cardozo dive into the hobby, which is sports cards, trading cards, as well as all other collectibles, right now on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, live from the Coaches Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
All right, it is that time once again for the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, coming at you from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill at Celebration Point, and we are brought to you by Meldon Law. They won't back down. We're still not backing down on our guests. We've got another good one for you. Hint, plays for this team and was also a Florida Gator. Answer, Brady Singer.
Brady Singer.
So excited to have Brady on, the big leaguer. He won basically every award his junior year in college, and certainly had his best Major League Baseball season. So looking forward to that. Always look forward and being with my guy, Jameel. He is here. I am Jeff, and we will get after it. Just like, gosh, I'm surprised you even have a voice, man. I know you're a couple days removed, but you finally had it. The update card show, and
it was done. It went well, man. It was great. That world up there is a fanatical world, fandom. Anybody who walks in there is not casual. They're all focused, locked in. They want to buy, sell, grade, trade, whatever it is. And so it was just a fun time. Had vendors from quite a vast array come visit the show. So, but yeah, my voice is kind of there. It's a little
fuzzy.
Yeah, a little fuzzy. But yeah, it was one of those blurry kind of weekends where there's just so many different things happening and everyone's asking you this or this or that. Plus, in the midst of all that, made some really big deals and buying cards, selling cards. And so that kind of, there's all that chaos going on. Then you have to kind of hyper focus into that. So it's fun, man. Yeah, we had a great turnout. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had a Javi, your boy, Hunky Javi. There was it's a funny story. There's a lady in line and she's with her husband, and her husband even brings it up and just says, I know I'm married to her, but she's really married to him. And so I start talking about Javi, and she's just nodding her head and like just getting to a different place. And I said, "Ma'am, do you need to take a break?" Like, it was just a funny moment. But yeah, Hunky Javi, like you said, he was great. Then we had the Clemson guys come in; they were great too. Just had a young kid walk up and say, it made me laugh. He looked at I think it was the linebacker Sammy Brown, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I play with you on EA Sports." And then he was like, just got to put that moment for this little kid together. So, and then he goes, "Do I suck on there?" He goes, "No, you're really good. I make you really good." So, just cool parts there. We got a chance to create moments and have a card show that we've decided on doing it annually. We're not going to do it twice a year. We're going to do the next show in actually late February. Working on some really cool guests, but I think that's a better timing for a show. The fall, it can be tricky. We learned that. I think you have. I mean, obviously the area is still dealing with hurricane, post hurricane. I actually met some collectors that came through from Asheville, from Chimney Rock, from those areas, and just the videos. We still don't really understand. You know what I mean? Like you say, well, oh man, it seems like it sucked. It's horrible. But to just see people like as you drive, imagine Archer Road just washed away. Like how do you get anywhere again? Or these kinds of things. So getting a chance to talk with those guys, and then for them it was really cool because they said we just wanted to get away. We just wanted to have something that brought us back to some normalcy, that brought us back to community, right? Which we forget about in the hobby, how important it can be beyond cards. So that was special in a lot of ways. You had, of course, we had the autograph signings. I think all the vendors, seemed like it did really well. Everyone kept saying they did really well, and they were no complaints. So that kind of thing is good to know that we brought people out for that. And you made people happy through the show, and then there was just that diversity of like things there. There was Pokemon cards. There was, memorabilia. There's actually, you would have loved it. There's quite a few, but tons of baseball autograph, tons of jerseys, stuff like that. We had comic vendors, we had video game vendors, we had a lot of Pokemon TCG outside of all of the sports cards that were there. So it was just kind of a unique event, and I love doing stuff like that in new areas. And who knows, maybe there'll be something we can do in North Central Florida in the future. So
sounds tremendous. And a lot of fun. You guys worked really hard to put all that together. So congrats on making that happen.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
it's really good. Well, we can't say congrats yet to the Dodgers because the Yankees pulled one off and didn't get swept. But later on, I think we're going to ask Brady Singer about this famous GIF or meme or whatever you call it, from his rain delay back in the day. I would assume there's got to be some kind of GIF now for the dude just ripping the ball out of Mookie's glove. I've never seen anything.
I mean,
like
it was,
that.
but I mean, where else would it happen?
In New
right?
York,
New
yeah.
York, you know what I mean? And the way it happened and how they were laughing and just kind of, and then of course
it was no big deal.
Yeah, and then of course they knew like, all right, boys, I'm out of here. I think it's what he said, the guy. And then poor Mookie. I mean, there could have been a way worse. If they're grabbing and he's pulling his wrist,
Sure.
you think like, so there was a line cross there that I think MLB is going to probably make some unique punishments for. I'm sure those guys, I would imagine, be banned for life, but who knows?
Never be able to stadium.
Yeah.
But I loved back in the day when you got the Sports Illustrated and you saw the very beginning, the faces in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
And you see just like a great shot and everyone's reaction, or
Yeah.
the picture of Freeman when he hit the grand slam in game
Yeah.
one, just all the people's faces behind it. In that photo, as you widen it out a little bit, there's a dude wearing like a sliding glove in the stands, like two people over, and then you've got a lady, and I don't know if it was that guy's like girlfriend or what, but she's just sitting there on her phone, and the guy's right there ripping the thing out, and she's like not even paying attention.
She's like checking out.
So I'm like, you're that close to this happening, and it's like you were oblivious to it.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating to see like people's reactions, but the environment seems awesome. And I think if we take this to a card industry now, gosh, Freeman's hit now a homer in 6 straight World Series games.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy in what he's been able to do. And I don't know if that makes his cards go up or whatever if he's the MVP, but I guess we talked, gosh, right when we started this thing, and we're on episode 22 now, that Shohei, if they win the World Series, what the cards could do for them.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't done a ton, but he's still there, and the Dodgers might pull this thing off.
Well, I mean, they got him batting in game 3, with a jacked up shoulder, but I mean, literally just he generated a walk. I think he generated a run, and when you talk about Freeman, his cards have always been undervalued, I think.
Sure.
And so his story is pretty captivating, specifically with his young daughter or son with Guillain-Barré syndrome earlier this year. And then, of course, his stories about his mom and his dad and all these things. So I do think when you see guys like this kind of resurface, they kind of regenerate their careers in some ways. And he's World Series record breaking. I think he's the only guy to hit that many consecutive home runs, right? So I think Freeman, like I made a fun post in our card show account, but I simply said on Instagram, like, #1 question tomorrow, you got any Freddie Freeman cards? And that was what a lot of people were asking for. There wasn't many out there. Not many people thought they brought much of him, but you go look on eBay, all our eBay cards are selling right immediately. So you can only be happy for someone like that. And sorry, man, that's your old Brave guy too,
Well, it's hard. I stole this jersey from my son because of Brady Singer when he got drafted. He loved him as a little kid, kind of watching him. But Freddie Freeman was his guy. He's got a Freddie Freeman jersey, and we ended up going to Atlanta last year for a game, and he put it on, and a couple people kind of razzed him a little bit.
Yeah,
why are you wearing that thing? He's a traitor. I'm like, no, I mean it's still Freddie Freeman.
Sure.
So it's like.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you root for a guy like that.
Braves Nation, look, you can't be mad at Freddie Freeman. It was not even his fault. It was his agent's fault. You know what I mean? But you got to. I think you had to be happy. Look, I look at it the same situation. I know Pujols came back, but I still rooted for Pujols as an Angel. Even as a Dodger, you want him to do well. He meant so much to the franchise, and I think you do see that more in baseball than other sports, right? I think you see a lot more just kind of the appreciativeness of the fan, thankfulness of the fans. But yeah, what a wild World Series, and to think, you got the 2 MVPs on both teams, and they really haven't done much, right? I mean, Judge has really been cold, and to watch that the team and the team around him, how they that throw out of Stanton as he's lumbering down, that was a great play, just the defensive play. So there's a lot of things going on in that. The pitching has been amazing for the Dodgers, and they don't even have Clayton Kershaw pitching. You know what I mean? So they're going to be a force to reckon with for years to come.
Certainly so. So they're playing defense, and defense, as we see in football, sometimes win you some championships.
That's right.
All right. Well, this guy won a national championship during his time at the University of Florida. Only year that Florida has ever won a baseball national title. Brady Singer was one of the leaders on that crew. It was a tremendous pitching staff. You had Alex Faedo on Friday, Brady Singer on Saturday, Jackson Kohler on Sunday. So 3 big leaguers making up that rotation. They pulled it off. So we'll get some stories from Brady and talk about if he collects cards and is in the hobby, because Jameel, as you know, gosh, there's a lot of young, talented Kansas City Royals out there, maybe none other than Bobby Witt.
I mean, he's got to be second in the AL MVP voting, right? He's got to be somebody who I see people at card shows that talk about Bobby Witt from a long-term investment standpoint, and that's interesting to me because you don't really see that in baseball cards outside of hitters, you know. So when you, I mean, I know he's a great hitter, but the defense that he brings to the table too. So I'm interested to see where his cards go. Kansas City Royals not a big market team. They make the playoffs this year, had a good run. But this is a guy who I think is going to be around a long time, and you got pieces around him with the pitching. I mean, we got Cags going, going to be up there soon, and it's amazing to see that young core. A lot of people in that AL Central, right? That's a division where it gets forgotten about all the time. So we'll see what happens with the Royals and kind of how they pan out moving forward. But I'm excited to talk to Brady about cards and ripping and hearing if any of his teammates are about that life, because I think they are. I think Bobby Witt's a big collector, just to name one of the guys. I'm sure there's a bunch on his team that are.
So let's not wait any longer. We'll step aside, bring in Brady when we come back on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
This is Jameel, owner of the Meelypop shop, Gainesville's home for collectibles of all sorts, including every single type of sports cards, whether it be Panini, Topps, Leaf, Upper Deck. We have it. Come on in, get yourself a box, a pack, get yourself some supplies, get into our breaks, get your Pokemon, get your Yu-Gi-Oh! All the other different kinds of TCG products that we carry and shop are always fully in stock. You can find our stuff on our website as well, Meelypops.com. That's another way you can interact with the store, or you can just come into the shop. We're located off 39th Avenue by I-75 behind Walgreens and Sonny's. Stop on by. We're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'd love to see you. Come on out to the shop, have some fun, be a part of the card community here in Gainesville, and always go Gators.
All right, we welcome you back inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Gainesville. This guy totally rock in Gainesville for many, many years. Did some great things at the University of Florida, now a Kansas City Royal. It is Brady Singer. Brady, what's up, man?
Just hanging out, chilling, relaxing. We're in the off season now, so to hang out with the family and just enjoy life for a little bit.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. I know it's a grind, so it's cool to be able to at least get a few months where you're able to do that. Of course, now a sort of a newborn and recently married, so it's a little different off season probably.
Yeah, no, for sure. We had him last year, last September, so he's a year old now. So this off season is really fun. Getting to hang out with him. He's walking now, so getting into everything. So I get to enjoy him a little more and then play outside and hang out with him. So it's been a blast. And, hanging out with the family. Obviously not having to go to the field every single day for 162 games is being able to hang out with them is special.
Yeah, certainly so. All right, so let's go back to gosh, it's been about a decade now since that senior year of high school, which is crazy. So you're a second round pick, and you decided to come to Florida. Did you just not want to be in Canada, or you just wanted to come hang out with the orange and blue guys?
Canada was far from home, but no, some things fell through, and I knew my backup was at the time. I obviously chose to draft, but I knew if that didn't work out, that my backup plan going to Florida was pretty dang good. So chose there. Gave Sully a call at the time and said, "Hey, I'm coming to school." So went right in the summer B. At first hated school, right? And, it was just wanted to go play, didn't want to sit in the classroom and all that. But obviously, Ann Hughes did an incredible job helping me with that, and obviously slowly welcoming me in, and the whole staff. It was just the best decision I've ever made. If I had to go back and redo it, do it the exact same. It was unbelievable. Obviously, extremely thankful for that opportunity to go there and all the memories I've made.
So Brady, I'm thinking about these stories about when you get called up to the big leagues. We're on the eve of this Topps Chrome update release coming out, and it's something that they created these MLB debut patches for players now. So they wear them on their sleeves after their first debut game. They get put in a card. It's a one-on-one. It's a really special thing. I just wondered, as you got your call up, right? You got your debut. Did you get messed with pretty well? Like, give us the real stories, like backing up. Like, did your buddies in the league, did they mess with you as you got your call up, or was it more of a congratulatory thing?
Yeah, it was more of a. So it was actually really weird. I'm one of the guys that was in a weird spot. It was more congratulatory, but also with mask on. It was COVID, so I got called up. That would have been, so I guess that was July. I made my debut end of July sometime. So middle of July, I got told that I was going to be on the team, but I mean it was in an office. We were spaced out. We had masks on. It was like, hey, you're going to big leagues, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, but a different situation that I would have thought of doing this way. But yeah, no, I had a good spring training, the first spring training. And thought I might have had a chance to make the team. I really had no idea. I just wanted to go out there and have a good spring training. It was my first big league camp and kind of get my feet wet and have some competition with some big leaguers. It was really cool. And then we heard about the COVID stuff, and we go to the field one day and they're like, hey, you're going home. Get out of here. Go home. And it was nuts. But came back here, hung out, stayed in shape and all that. And then they told us we're doing spring training in Kansas City. Went to Kansas City, kind of did that like 2-week rush spring training, which was, insane, trying to get starting pitchers, built up in 2 weeks after, we've been home for, maybe a month or two. But yeah, like I said, got called into an office and said, hey, you're going to make the team. You're pitching, I think it was the second or third game in Cleveland, and there's going to be no one in the stands, and we're all going to be spaced out. You can't do anything that you're used to. So it was crazy. So yeah, no, it was more, like I said, congratulatory, nothing really crazy, stories from that moment.
Yeah, weren't able to mess with you the right way. Like we see a lot of
really
people.
They talked to me as they had a mask on, so I couldn't understand what they were saying. So it's different.
Anyway, that's right. Well, let's go back to Gainesville a little bit too. You have the great junior year. You're the National Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year, SEC Player, like all these just tremendous awards. And I mean, it made it easy for me to broadcast. You're just throwing like 7-8 innings every time out, and it's quick, and we get out of there. But I would have probably assumed that your sophomore year, that last game and in the College World Series, LSU might have been your most memorable. Is that probably accurate?
Yeah, no, that was, now you're giving me goosebumps, Jeff. Thanks. No, that was cool I don't know, that World Series was so special. I mean, the group of guys that was there. I mean, we had Faedo on Friday nights. I mean, Mike Rivera catching me behind the plate. We just had guys leading that team that were really special, obviously, to that program as well. But yeah, those final, you got 3 games, those final 3 games to win a World Series against LSU, against a team that we didn't really care much for, to beat them and to compete head to head with them in that series. And I just, I remember, waking up on that day and obviously had the ball first there and was just excited, but obviously locked in, ready to go. And, I knew it was going to be a heck of a crowd. I knew we were going to be, the LSU fans were going to show up. I don't know how many fans were in the stadium at that time, 25, 30,000, however many that place holds. And I knew LSU was going to be loud at that time. So it was cool. Really, really special time. The game I'll remember forever. And, to win that World Series, be the first, I think obviously winning a World Series was incredible, but being the first one in program history was really special for us as a team and as a staff, and, for Sully as well.
To tag along that, this past weekend, Brady, we had a chance to work with Javi Lopez, and he did autograph signing at this event I was at. And there's a card that he signed where it was the moment when they won the World Series, and he's, jumping up, pitchers, kind of just straddled them, up in the air, and just this moment of joy, right? And so I was talking to him about that card, and he smiled, he perked up a little bit, and just kind of talking through the emotions. So you just brought it up. Jackson gets this last out. He's your boy. You're obviously teammates now. What was it like in that moment when you're running out on the field? What are you thinking? Like, is it just pure elation? Is there things that are going through your mind? Is it kind of like when people die and everything flashes in front of their face?
Yeah,
Like, what
right.
happened in that moment there?
I think it's just like a flashback of the memories, right? I mean, let's say we came in as freshmen. I'm looking at guys that were my teammates since I was a freshman. I remember going to summer beat with these guys. I remember going to class. I remember, hanging out with these guys, off the field. I remember waking up at freaking 5 a.m. and going to run in the freezing cold. I remember scootering through campus when it's freezing. I mean, just like I have these, we always talk about it. You have a group of your best friends, for life on a college campus that you live 2 seconds away from, and you're with them 24/7, right? So it was unbelievable. I mean, just like that feeling of one, all of our hard work during the season, all those games that we, grinded for that long, all the practices, all the, hard work that we put in as a team together, has paid off. And, it was more to, when we won, we're happy for everybody else too. We're happy for the coaches. We're happy for the staff. We're happy for the school. We're happy for, the fans. Obviously, they're getting to celebrate with us. So it's a moment of, happiness and, relief too. We've had obviously a lot of expectations during that year, during my whole time at Florida, as teams and for all of us. So to, carry through those expectations and bring home a World Series, at that time, you're kind of, like I said, when you're running out, all that's coming, to your mind.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I got teary eyed up in the boot too with all the chances and times and memories. So yeah, it was awesome. But you think about that too, and I guess I could do it. You could probably do it illegally with all your buddies. The celebrations are were different back then. You can't have the champagne and the beer and goofing off, but you finally got to do that this year with the big league squad and the Royals. So how fun was that? Just being able to do that. I guess everybody puts on the ski goggles now and goofs off, but had to be a lot of fun. Being
I
able
don't know
to
if
do
you've ever
that.
had a chance to absolutely just train wreck a place and absolutely be up the ass, but it was really fun. I mean, you were just like, it was, do whatever you want, really. Just start throwing stuff and slinging champagne and slinging beer. And, another thing, exactly, what I just talked about. I've been with those guys since the start of spring training, obviously had, teammates on the team that I've been with since I came into the Royals. I was drafted with those guys. So like I said, it's the same exact thing that was, in Florida. These guys I've been with since for the past 8 months, spring training all the way through the season, the ups and downs of the seasons, the wins, losses, the hard times, the good times. I mean, it's these teams that you're on, just for from spring training to that time, you're playing 162 games. You're playing, however many more in spring training. You're seeing each other every single day, and you get to celebrate in that way. Now you're in the postseason with all these guys you've been with the whole entire year. So exact same feeling, as there is Florida as well, to bring back to the postseason to Kansas City. I think it was, close to 7, 8, or 9 years that since they've been in the postseason. So to do that for, like I said, the fans and all the staff members that were there as well, it's a really special moment. The playoffs is unbelievable. I mean, it's an incredible time. It's an incredible feeling. It's obviously a feeling of accomplishment as well for all of us. But like I said, the teammates that you learn and get to hang out with and grind with along the way is special in that moment.
Amazing young core in Kansas City, and thinking about the hobby and sports cards. And we were kind of talking about this off air just before we started, just the rise of baseball cards, right? And how like even the players are just so enamored with ripping cards and breaking cards and stuff. And you're talking about seeing just cards everywhere, like little kids, in the dugout, just cards flying. And it's kind of cool to see this rise. And the Royals, man, in terms of young talent, you talk about yourself and we talked about Kowar, but Bobby Witt Jr., you got Jack, coming up, there's all this hype around these cards. And I wonder what you think about, when you first saw your first card, your first rookie card, you know what I mean? Like when that was in your hand, like, what is that moment for you? Like,
yeah, no, it's something that, obviously growing up, you see baseball cards and all that. It's like, oh man, this is so cool seeing big leaguers on cards and all that. One day that got, obviously my first rookie card, it was like, this is just like a surreal moment. You grow up looking at other guys' cards and, I grew up looking at like Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and all these guys' cards. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And collecting and all that. And now my name's on a card with a picture of me, and I'm taking pictures for cards and all that, and signing cards and signing one of ones and stuff like that. It's really cool when you talk about the rise that baseball has on these cards. Every single day I'm walking in the locker room, some of these guys, Bobby and some other guys, just have boxes of cards that they're just ripping open, and I feel like they stayed all night at the field opening these cards. I'm like, how did you open up thousands of cards before I got here at the field? So, and no, it's cool. You just get to see all these, different cards, so many different designs, so many different special cards that they're coming out with. And obviously some are really hard to get. So it's funny when they get a card that's really hard to get. They get a special card. And it's like, whoa, look at this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see.
People get a little rowdy when they hit those big cards, and it's almost like you won the pennant or something. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Thinking about those, you mentioned rare cards. Do you collect any of your own cards, or family members? You got mom and pops or anybody that are seeking cards of yours and putting them away?
No, there's one of me and Bobby out there. Bobby actually bought it. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how many they made. I'm just trying to find it. Been looking on it a little bit. Bobby has one. I've been trying to find that one, but no, I haven't really collected too many of my cards. I have a lot of cards, but none of like one-on-ones or special cards or anything like that. I would like to, for sure. That'd be really cool just to have, obviously, show my son and let him have them. And, hopefully when he's old enough and understands what's going on, he'll collect some of my cards. I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be a hobby that me and him might try to do, and start collecting cards and all that. 'Cause it's really cool for the kids too. I mean, they get so excited. Obviously it's pictures they can learn about guys in different ways too.
I bet your mom and dad or brother are secretly like getting these cards, and they're saving them because they're.
I'm sure my dad is.
Yeah, behind the scenes. But and speaking of your dad, it was great, obviously, getting to know him here, and I think I saw how close you were to them and the importance of family. But they're traveling and being around every single time you're out there making stars. I'm sure they do that in the big leagues as well. But just how important were them? And I think you and I both went through the same thing of. The travel ball stuff and never being around, and you're constantly gone. You know how much hard work parents have to put into it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's incredible. They gave me everything I could ask for growing up. I mean, they were there for every moment. There were, so many sacrifices they made, and, obviously trying to work and balance travel ball. I mean, when I was 15, 16, 17 and 18, I was gone every weekend. I mean, gone every week at some points, during the summer playing, and they were balancing work, balancing, obviously, it's not cheap to play travel ball. There's no doubt about it. So they were working and helping me, hotels and all that, food, however much you eat at that age, food bills. I mean, they've sacrificed everything. They've given me everything that I need. And, it's cool to, now be in that situation, having a son, trying to be there every situation for him, like my parents were as well, and trying to give him everything he needs. And, obviously it was just cool to have role models as, like my mom and dad that I can be for my son.
So Brady, just switching gears here into the tech side of things, you are kind of a famous GIF, or GIF, however they say it, with this rain delay in Gainesville Regional. So when it rains, I want to know, like, do you I mean, how cool is it now that you have them? Maybe that's not something you want to pass down to your son, but
right.
You have it. So people probably texted to you.
I'm trying to hide that from
you on it. Yeah. So what's it like just having, I mean, a rain delay GIF, I guess is the question.
I mean, every time, like, I forgot where it rained the other day. We were in kind of a bigger game, and it started raining. I'm like, here we go. Something's going to hit the internet at some point. But just that moment was crazy. I mean, we're trying to get through that rain delay, right? So we can keep playing. I'm trying to get through. However, I forget how many innings you needed to play in college, but no, we're trying to score runs and get out of there. I'm not trying to sit around for a rain delay and possibly give them a break. I mean, we were pushing in that game, and obviously I wanted to pitch, so I'm trying to hurry up and pitch and get through that. I was trying to get through that inning as quick as I could, and obviously had some delays with the TV and some other things were happening to have that delay happen. And I'm trying to get out there and get 3 outs and get through the game and get the guys up, hit a couple homers, and get out of there. Right?
That's right.
sit around. So
It all worked
famous
out.
gift.
Yeah,
It did
famous
work
gift for sure. Still one of the best. You know, that was, you know, obviously fun and that run and going through. I know, no, not for you at the time, but you know, it must be fun now because you have all this just ability to tinker with stuff and all this technology. And I mean, from the college level now, and you know what you didn't get, you know, 7 or 8 years ago. You know, and I think you even probably incorporated some stuff this year. Looked like the, you know, now a sweeper a little bit more, and you know, trying to do some different stuff to lefties. How fun is that, or how much do you use this technology to kind of sit there and play with stuff, or maybe just, you know, talk to these other veterans on the staff about what to do?
Right. Yeah. So, you know, at first it was like, I don't even know. It just looked like foreign language, right? When you
Yeah.
first look at these TrackMan, and you first look at these Rapsodas, it's like I have no idea, you know, what this says and how is that going to make me better? You know, this is what I have, this is the stuff I have, and this is what I'm going to go perform with. But the deeper you dive into it, it's like this stuff is extremely helpful. Like no matter which way you look at it, you know, I'm more of like an old school guy. No matter how old school you get, you know, you are. If you look into this helps. You know, right? It's a tool that we use not only for pitch designing, but you know, setting up pitches for the, you know, the way we attack hitters. So it's really cool. You know, you have the TrackMan stuff that, you know, you look into every day, but you also have this biomechanical stuff that is, you know, looking at basically like a giant X-ray of your body on a mound. And you can see every which way your body's moving and all the torque and all these things. And I leave the biomech to somebody else. They figure that out because that's something I cannot figure out. That's really impressive that, you know, they know how to do that. But the pitch designing stuff is really special. Being able to see which way the ball's spinning, and then the slow motion cameras as well. Just a bunch of tools that you can use. And you know, I've heard all the college teams now have them as well. So that would be really, really cool to be growing up in college baseball right now.
All right, great stuff from Brady Singer. But before we always let our guests go, we do our Titan MRI rapid fire questions. So first thing comes to your mind, see if you can remember some stuff from back in the day, and just goof off a little bit. So this will test you. We'll send this to Ann too, and see if you pass the
Don't
test.
send it to Ann. She wants nothing to do with my academic abilities anymore.
That's right. All right, this would, you would think, would be pretty memorable. First big league strikeout. Who was it?
Franmil Reyes, slider down and away.
Oh, baby, look at
Ooh, that's good.
quick that is.
That's quick.
Good. All right, first guy to homer off of you.
Miguel Cabrera.
Ooh, Miggy.
Did he crush it?
No, he went right field in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, backside. But I was a part of history. I mean, the guy's on the Hall of Fame. I can tell my kid that. I can tell everyone that. I just helped.
Yeah, very much so. All right. Other than Kansas City, favorite place to pitch in the big leagues?
Globe Life, Texas Rangers, really cool. Love Boston. And the history there.
Do you just like, and I know, I mean, your mentality, you're so focused and locked in, but do you ever take an opportunity, I guess maybe not while you're pitching, just kind of look around and say, holy crap, like I'm in Fenway or Yankee Stadium or something like that?
Yeah, I did that actually running in from the bullpen in the postseason this year. I like looked up and was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Yeah, so sometimes I'll look up. And, I mean, it's a good like mental reset too when you're out there on the mound.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Every time there's a Chief game on, you know, of course, Taylor's there. Have you ever seen Taylor Swift in Kansas City?
I have not. I've been close to her. She was we were at a Chiefs game. She was in a suite. I knew what suite she was in. So I've been kind of close.
Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
My daughter would love that answer.
Oh, she loved that answer.
Like that close. Who hits a golf ball further, you or Coar?
Me.
And total
or hits a
score.
ballooning slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Furthest drive ever.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. Actually, it might be I might have hit the cart path at Ironwood one time.
Ooh. Just kept going.
Just kept rolling.
Like in Tin Cup, we hit a 7-iron right down the road.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Ever had a hole in one?
No, still haven't.
Never been close?
I mean, I've been like a little bit close, but nothing like memorable close.
Yeah. Me neither, man. All these years still.
You don't have one, really?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Jameel will go out there tomorrow and just, you know, take a 3-wood on a you know, par 3 and rattle it in.
I don't know if you've ever seen me swing, so.
All right, you get an off day before kid, marriage, all that other stuff. What's the one thing that you'd be going out to do?
I'm gonna go find a really nice golf course, play play some good golf, and we go really early in the morning when the sun's rising, and it's still a little bit of dew on the ground, and do that. And then after, I'm gonna eat lunch and probably go fish somewhere.
Favorite golf course you've ever played?
Oh, the one in Tampa here, Old Memorial, is really, really nice. I played Camargo in Ohio this year, and I played Whistling Straits two years ago, I think. So I think the northeast golf up there is really, really special. Some different things. Me and Coar played in Seattle too. That was a whole different animal. So just seeing different terrain, different stuff you don't get to see, down in the southeast is cool.
Yeah, very cool. All right, I know this was never cool when somebody came out to the mound to try to get the ball from you or something, but who got on you the most? Sully, Mikey, or Salvi now? Who's like cussed you out?
Oh, Salvi's, he's just intense. Salvi's really intense. He doesn't yell at you, but he's just in the moment. I think Mikey, definitely, has yelled at me for something, but Mikey was incredible. I love Mikey to death. He was so much fun to have back there. Huge part of that World Series. Whenever he was catching me, it was a special time. And no, he was so intense. So we kind of matched each other's competitive out there on the mound. It was really, really fun to work with.
Yeah, I think that's what made those teams so great.
Yeah.
Just the competitiveness of everybody and just the fire and the want to.
We were rowdy.
Yeah.
Group of guys, and it was fun.
It was. Got after it really good.
Yeah.
Do you have a memorabilia room or a man cave in the house? You get to have one of those?
Yeah, no, I got one. I was gonna do my Zoom in there, but my wife's doing I think arts and crafts in there at the moment. She's painting the upstairs bedroom for Bo, Toy Story theme. She's working in there doing some stuff. So I'm stuck on the couch.
Sweet. What's in there? Like jersey, balls? Like, do you have your first win ball, anything like that?
Yeah. So Kansas City does something really cool. They put our debut jersey in a really nice frame. Some pictures around it. I have the World Series Gator jersey hanging up in there. This is national champions. I have the WBC second place medal in there. I've got some race helmets. I've got first win ball. Trying to think of something. Got the Dick Hauser Award in there. I've got the national championship trophy in there. I got national championship watch in there. Some cool different things.
Yeah, a lot of really cool
Sounds
stuff.
like Spurriers, but for singers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Very true. Well, you mentioned the World Baseball Classic. What's the coolest thing about getting to be a part of that? Is it like just really rowdy and crazy?
It is nuts. No, it is. It's definitely an incredible environment. I don't know. Playing for a team is obviously so special. You get the fans and stuff, but playing for your country is a whole different animal, right? I mean, I feel like the magnitude is huge, and then when you're playing another country. I remember we were playing Mexico, and it was rowdy. It was crazy. A lot of guys yelling at you, but just the constant noise. That was going on during the stadium. It was just a crazy buzz going around the stadium. Really, really cool to be a part of.
I'm sure. One of the neatest things about being at the University of Florida is, obviously a lot of sports that are really good, but I mean, there's Olympians left and right, and big leaguers, NFL guys, NBA guys. So who is your favorite non-baseball player, your time in school to like kind of be around?
So Dressel was there when I was there for a little bit. Trying to think, Antonio Callaway was there. Golly, I'm trying to think of somebody who was just like, I mean, Dressel was like the guy, right?
Sure.
Bridget Sloan, I think, was there, and McCurry was there at the time. I think I was just so awed by Olympians. Truly, I think that those guys that have gotten the gold medals or competed in the Olympics. Because I remember, even sports that I have no idea about the sport, right? I'm just like sitting on the couch watching the Olympics. That it's just a huge moment for these people. The whole world's watching. So for them to perform in that environment and to excel in that environment is special as a person.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I mean, just what the gymnasts do and all these things, it's absolutely crazy, man.
We didn't even give you the cue, but Dressel's our guest next week. So I mean, we
Oh,
go
is he
from
really?
one hunky guy to
that
another
guy-
hunky guy. Yeah, so
That's right.
Significantly better at swimming than a lot of other
For sure.
Really?
Is Bo a righty or lefty? Have you figured that out yet?
He hasn't done anything with his left hand, thank God.
Okay.
I'm
You didn't
just
try to like tie the right arm back so he could be lefty or none of that?
no. I know lefties are a different breed. I'm gonna stick with a righty.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Do it. All right, who's better at social media, you or Whit Merrifield?
Whit Merrifield, I guess, because he just runs his mouth on there all the time. It's hilarious. But I'll go Whit. He's better at coming up with funny jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, always good stuff. Have you ever jumped into the fountain at Kauffman Stadium?
No, I've fell in fountains before, and other things, but no. So I think that like the sprayers that spray up are like all over the water, and it's not very deep. Or I probably would have.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and then last one. Why the number 51? It seems like such a random number.
Yeah. So we actually it was a race. It was my racing number growing up. I remember walking. We had a barn at my house that we kept some motorcycles in and just some other toys that we decided to hurt ourselves on each and every day. And I remember looking on the wall and seeing a picture of an old go-kart, a guy racing a go-kart, and I think he actually passed away during when he was racing go-karts. So I just saw the number 51, loved it, and put it on a bike, and I've stuck with it ever since. Thankfully, I got it at Florida and in the big leagues as well. So it's a special number, and I've had it for truly ever since I was a little kid.
And you never had any pushback? Like they didn't try to say, "Hey, you can't wear this in Florida or in the big leagues"?
No. It's been open every time. Yeah, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it's good.
I can
didn't have to pay somebody off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Every time we
get to episode 51, we'll have to shoot a message to Brady and have him have a.
And there it is.
The official 51 first episode.
Yeah, that'd be sick for sure.
No doubt. Well, it's awesome watching you, man. I don't know if I've ever told you this personally, but I've been a part of these broadcasts and playing, and gosh, like 30 years almost now in Gator baseball, and I mean, you're still right at the top. Competitiveness, attitude, just the way you went about it, man. So just a great person. Appreciate it. And that's why I got my Royals jersey, and certainly rooting for you from afar. And it was hard for me because I'm a big Braves guy growing up, and even when you guys are playing them late in the year, I'm like, I kind of hope Brady wins this thing.
Yeah,
so it's weird for me.
That's awesome. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I wish I could have played at Florida for 10 years. I feel like 3 years was too short, and the time there was special. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that me, Coar, and Marky Colesbury and David Lee were sitting around a table, and we just don't stop telling college stories. And I'm like, we need to grow up and like move on from college. It's not happening. We got Coar's bachelor party next week with all those guys, and we're gonna sit there and tell stupid college stories until we're blue in the face, and it's gonna be hilarious. They don't stop.
Yeah.
So just so many memories. Obviously met my wife there as well, and just incredible time. And like I said, 3 years was way too short. I wish I could live that every day.
No doubt. All right, Brady. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Brady, thanks for being on. I gotta make a trip up to St. Louis to see my Cards play, but you're kind of like my half brother team, I guess.
There you go.
So come across the state and come represent some Kansas City Royals in the AL. Yeah,
come and check it out.
My AL team for sure.
That's right. No doubt.
Check it out. It's a cool stadium too.
All right, Brady, good luck the rest of the way in the off season. Enjoy the time off, and certainly a lot of people around these parts will be rooting for you as you get going again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yep, sure thing. All right, Brady. That is Brady Singer. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our wax stats segment. We'll see all the great wax that's coming up in the card world right after this.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans.
All right, we welcome you back. Episode 22. I guess locally that would be the Emmett Smith number.
Emmett right there.
Of course. But gosh, Emmett was a national phenom, an NFL Hall of Famer. So not just local. And, I think the same for Brady Singer. The year that he had this year, I think certainly a lot of people around Gainesville know him. But, I mean, he was one of the better pitchers before the last like month or so of the season. He was tearing it up, and I know looking at some of his cards, because I always like to try to get some from you, they were starting to go up, and different things were happening. So
it's amazing to think how many people in the major leagues are that I talk to fans all the time, and the Alonso card, Bader card, India card, Singer card, Caglione coming. I mean, those guys are ex-Gators, but people don't know that, and so it's one of these things, like, not even a Gator. I mean, it's a Gator thing that we have all these amazing players, but these guys go on to have amazing careers at the professional level in MLB, NFL, NBA. I mean, so we're rich here in talent, but these guys become national names.
yes, they certainly do. All right. Well, I still never get these cool national 1-of-1 pulls, and I'm trying, but there's always that chance, because it's time for some new wax to come out, isn't it?
Yeah, you're gonna be excited. There's a product called Allen and Ginter. You're gonna have to rip a box. We don't have time to do it on.
It's like the old school stuff, right?
Yeah, so the old, like, kind of tobacco-y, like borderless kind of cards. But the thing about Allen and Ginter is it's become this like smorgasbord of Americana. So in this set, you have Jaden Daniels rookie cards, you have Quavo cards, you have a certain rock punk singer I just saw a card of. You have really unique kind of cards with unique inscriptions in these cards that you can get autographs of, jersey cards, relic cards. I think this year they have a dog set, so they partnered with the group that does the Thanksgiving Day dog.
Yeah.
So they have literally, there's no joke, game used or event used dog metal things that they put in the card. So my wife's gonna go nuts. She loves our dogs and dogs in general, but it's another way to just kind of get people involved in cards through a unique way that Topps, does a good job with the set. So that comes out this week, and it's very affordable. Meelypops.com, Meelypops.com. I think it's $115, $120 a box. You get 2 or 3 hits per box. A lot of fun, a lot of cards. If you buy a case, you're going to guarantee a hot box, and the hot box is where every single card in the packs are the special foil. So, and on top of all this is the first year they're creating chrome variants, Topps chrome variants in Ginter. So in the Ginter product. So it should be a lot of fun for rips. It's a value rip, and you can also get some really expensive cards with some of these actors and non-sport kind of guys and gals.
So very, very unique to be able to kind of mix in just the variety of stuff as opposed to just sticking with one thing.
And of course, Skeens has a rookie card in there. I mean, you're gonna have all this stuff, plus the football guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing that they can, because of the licensing, put all these guys cross. I mean, Wemby was last year; he had a rookie card in there too. So, really cool. Can't go wrong with Allen and Ginter. Another big release that I'm actually really excited about for our shop is 2024 Topps Star Wars Galaxy Chrome, and it's this set that came out in 2021, Jeff. That was a Star Wars set, but it was very artsy. Like, they got all these artists that kind of redo specific scenes in Star Wars, and it just took off. It was major. It wasn't so hit driven, like autograph driven. It was more driven on the art and the parallels. So they made it, for 4 years, and this year they have borderless cards. So the cards kind of bleed out, and the art is a really cool set. People always, the word dope or sick or amazing, like, you hear that a lot when people see these cards. So they'll have the superfractors and the parallels and the atomic refractors, and the cards just look really nice. So a lot of people have been waiting for this release. We're going to be breaking a ton of that on Whatnot, on our Instagram and our TikTok, because it's just a kind of a cultic set for the Star Wars fan base.
It made me think, as you were saying that kind of stuff with no borders. I think it was the Garbage Pail Kids back in the day. You turn them over and it would make like a big puzzle.
Does
that happen anymore?
Yeah, they do them in some of the sets. Garbage Pail Kids, they do that in the newer sets.
Okay.
You don't see it as much, right? I mean,
you would think building that and maybe putting it in a frame or something would be something to collect.
Well, the nice thing is they're usually 9-card sets, so you can put them in a 9-page binder, right? The page, and a lot of people collect them that way. That was a 90s thing that was super big.
You're saying I'm old.
I mean, it was a thing that, I didn't say that. You're wise is what you are, Jeff. But yeah, so two big releases this week, as well as another big release for hockey, SP Authentic Hockey 23-24 Upper Deck. As you guys might remember, we had a 1-of-1 gold PMG of Connor Bedard hit, valued in well into the mid 5 figures for a card. Amazing. And so this is now SP Authentic, so you get the autographs, the Future Watch cards, and people are going to be chasing that. So that's kind of one of their bigger releases for hockey. And then lastly, 23-24 Obsidian Panini Soccer. So a good release week. We're going to see a lot of releases as we now enter into buying season, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, holidays, Hanukkah, all the things that everyone's looking for gifts. So we're going to see a lot more releases, which in a way it's a little bit of an overload for the card shops because you got so much coming out, and for the customer. But I do think there's some cool ones, and we'll do our best to pinpoint that here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Awesome. And what else is going to be awesome is next week's guest. We've got a Olympian, a gold medalist, a guy that certainly is synonymous with USA swimming, and again, was a Gator, but turned into this national phenomenon. Caleb Dressel is going to join the show. I know you're going to do some stuff with Caleb and collaborate with him in store too. So should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it because I can bring in. I usually kind of get a collection of 2 or 3 Speedos a year. I have one that I haven't used yet. Maybe I can get them to autograph.
You don't want a game used one?
Yeah,
get autographed?
That'd be a little weird.
I mean, it'd be definitely weird. Yeah. I have to kick Jeff out at the autograph signing. So we can announce this now. Caleb Dressel will be at our shop November 16th here in Gainesville, Florida. I have a couple customers who are flying in from New York for this event. I have it's going to be our biggest trade day ever. So we're calling it Trade Day with Caleb Dressel and PSA. So to add a cherry on top, we actually have PSA at our shop. They're sending 3 people from California to come and accept submissions directly. So our shop right now only does pretty much cards, but you can come to our shop on Saturday, the November 16th, and bring cards. You can bring Funko Pops, you can bring tickets, you can bring oversized items, and you can bring packs. And and you're actually submitting them directly to PSA. You're not having to deal with shipping. You're not having to deal with a middleman, any of that other stuff. So that is going to be the first time ever. They're bringing the big guns out for Caleb. First time ever PSA has done a collaborative event with a card shop in Florida.
Wow.
So it should be a big thing because PSA is synonymous with, just a hobby. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to kind of be a fun community event. We're going to start at 10, end at 5. Caleb's going to sign at 1. We'll talk about this, of course, more next week. But this is how cool Caleb is. I said, Caleb, what do you want to charge for autographs? What do you want to do with all things? How do you want to handle it? He goes, I want Gator Nation to come out and I want to be free. So it's going to be free autograph signing, 1 per person. If you try and put on a funny mustache with the little glasses, I'll call you out. But it'll be a lot of fun. And we have our trade day going on, and we have PSA. Many of you are like, I can't fit in the shop. How's it all going to fit? We're renting 10 chairs, things outside. Hopefully it'll be nice. I have food trucks there, ice cream trucks there. Bring the kids out. It'll just be. We want to be about the community and the hobby. So just did this big thing up in South Carolina for Meelypops SC, and we wanted to do something here in Florida. Not to play favorites or anything like that, but just we want to do these events, through our shop. So
tremendous stuff, man.
Please come out. Yeah, Caleb Dressel.
Yeah,
you can see him, and you can see him on the podcast next week.
Yeah, that'll be great.
So,
Bobby Valentine was able to get away with the mustache.
Oh, he was
in the dugout. So maybe there's hope, but don't try it. Don't try it. Come enjoy that as well. Well, we always enjoy speaking to all of you. If you enjoy it, tell your friends, your family members, your besties about it. And make sure that this gets out there, and a lot of fun being able to do this and kind of educate everybody, bring you some good interviews each week, and just learn other people's personalities. I think that's what's great about all this.
Yeah, no, it was great with just talking with Brady and seeing how much. I mean, your guys' history with being there, interviewing him through the national championship run. I think it opens up with these players, and you forget, they're just awesome guys and gals who love sports, and sounds like Brady likes cards and. Enjoys downtime and golfing. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Which is awesome.
That's what it's all about. All right. Have yourselves a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you next week with Caleb Dressel. For Jameel, I'm Jeff. You've been listening to the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at noon.